It's getting a little ripe, but that's all right.
Most employers, they set their normal schedule. I'm gonna sneeze, sorry.
Welcome back, folks. I'm Ronald.
And I'm Ronnie.
And this is the Ron's World. Thank you so much to our subscribers, and thank you to those who will subscribe right now by clicking down below. This week, we're talking about how to ask for a raise. What do you think, Ronnie?
I think most people don't realize your employer actually just simply forgets to give raises. That is so common where they just go through their normal day, they're busy running their company, they actually forget to give their employees a raise, so you have to ask them for it.
Another thing you gotta keep in mind, actions speak louder than words. So make sure the actions that you provide for the company or coworkers match the level of job and raise that you're going for.
Ooh, and walk fast through the halls. It always appears you're busier if you're walking faster. So wherever you're going, be super quick about it.
Ronnie, I can't talk right now. I got a meeting. I'm busy. Send me a memo.
I'll let you in on a little secret. Most people, including employers, don't like confrontation. When you go in and you ask for that raise, they have just as hard a time of saying no as you are having trying to ask them for it. So take that as an advantage. You are being the assertive one, not them.
Yeah, and it's all in how you bring up the topic. There's ways of bringing it up that's comfortable. Now, obviously, we've all had those uncomfortable experiences of people demanding raises, where, in fact, all you really need to start doing is having a conversation about compensation with your supervisor and doing it early and often, just making it part of your relationship and encouraging them to actually advocate for you. And most supervisors, they'll take pride in the fact that their employees are getting paid fairly. You have to do your homework. It's like anything in life, you gotta do your research, you gotta understand what's out there. And so having good relationships with coworkers, friends at other companies, or even online research, you can get a sense of what's fair pay for the job that you're doing and the role that you have. And that way, when you go in to have these kind of conversations, that you're armed with good information. And it's not one-sided, where it's at the highest end of the scale, but it's not on the lowest end. You don't want to shortchange yourself. Go in and then understand what what the value of the position is, so that you can have an intelligent conversation.
Now, Ronald brings up a really good point, but I want to add something that's super important, because I've seen this happen where somebody comes in and they say, hey, this is my job description, and I went on one of these websites that tells me what it's worth, and I want to make that much money. But what they didn't take into account is where they live. Geography is so much a part of this as much as what you do. You may do the same job as somebody else. They live in New York City. You live in Omaha, Nebraska, both great cities, but guess what? You make more in New York for the same job you would in Omaha, and you have to take that into consideration. So just not only know what a job is worth, know what a job is worth in the market that you work in is important.
6 months or more is a good rule of thumb, and typically it's more than a year before you start having those kind of conversations. Make sure you've made some contributions to the organization so that you have good ammunition, as Ronnie's pointing out, that, hey, that you really have proven that you're the model employee for the long term.
And think of it this way, what's the worst that's gonna happen? They say no, and guess what? If they say no, you have a right to ask them why. And just because, or budget is not a reason, you wanna hear the reason. So don't be afraid to also question if they say no, why they're saying no, and when you might be able to see one. Be assertive, don't be bashful over there.
You and your supervisor need to set goals, like what you need to accomplish, because a no now might be a yes in a few months after you've accomplished some things. So ask the question why, but why and what? What can I do? What are some things that you would like to see, so that you can make it clear? Set those goals, set the time frame, so that everybody's clear when those are accomplished, someone's getting a raise.
And Ronald brings up a really good point by not even bringing it up, that when you go in to ask for a raise,
I do that a lot.
You should probably dress the part. As you can see clearly, we're both in the same office, but one of us looks better than the other. If you don't get the raise, just take stuff. Like steal office supplies, a monitor here and there. Nobody cares.
100%.
You deserve it.
You know, trying to screw up your coworkers' work so they look bad, so you look good, that's a surefire way to make you stand out.
Oh, jeez.
Somebody who's on a performance development plan because this past year their performance dropped below the level of the position, but then they come in and ask for a raise during that period when they're supposed to be rebounding and building back up. It can boggle your mind. Like, are they just not aware of the situation they're going through?
My favorite though is when you get people who come in and ask for a raise that clearly don't deserve it.
Ronnie, you got a minute?
Oh, yeah, what's up?
I've been working hard here, and I just don't know if my pay matches my level of effort. So what can you do about that?
Yeah, listen, I don't know how to tell you this, but no.
No. What? I've been working my tail off.
You've been here a week.
This week has felt like a million.
Tell you what I will do for you, Ronald. You can have a free cup of coffee on the company.
What? You have to be a good team member, that everybody wants to work with you. It's not just about checking the boxes of your job role.
Right? Yeah, no, absolutely. And the funny thing about asking for a raise is, literally just asking is half the battle. And as long as you can articulate the reasons, more often than not, you're at the very least, going to get the reasons why you won't get a raise or how you get the raise later. And that really is the most important thing. But, the other thing about when you do ask for a raise, you need to make sure that you're asking the right audience. And what I mean by that is, how many times have we seen where people will come in and they'll leapfrog their direct supervisor to try to go to the source to ask for a raise. That is a no-no. You always go to your immediate supervisor, who may not have the decision ability, but that's where you start. Most important thing that you can do if you're gonna ask for a raise, don't steal office supplies. They know. Trust me. They know.
Ronnie learned the hard way on that one.
Ronald took way more pens than me. I only took 2, he took 4, so he's twice as bad.
Oh, Ronnie.
Hey.
Well, I really want to hear what our audience thinks about this. And if you have other topics you want us to talk about, if you haven't guessed yet, Ronnie and I think we're experts in just about everything. So leave those comments down below. I'm Ronald.
And I'm Ronnie.
And this is the Ron's World.